Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, we are ripping out an old leaky shower and replacing it with waterproof paneling. Right, this is the bathroom that we're going to be working in for the next few days. So we have got here a recently completed ensuite that unfortunately has started to leak and has failed. So we have checked the shower tray and with a hose we have run water directly down the drain. And that is actually fine, but it seems to be leaking through these metro tiles here. Now, as far as we're aware, we don't believe there's any waterproof paneling put behind these tiles. But I'm not sure if you can see around here, but all the tiles are coming away from the wall. And yeah, so the water is obviously running behind the tiles and then going through the ceiling downstairs. So it is a bit of a shame because it's not that long completed, but the customer here has decided to take all this stuff out. So we're going to rip out all the tiles, all the screens, shower and shower tray, and just replace it totally new. Now, we are keeping the existing floor tiles, and the bath, toilet and basin are staying in location. So we need to be a little bit careful while we're working in here. Now, this is the same house as the other bathroom or shower job we've just done with the waterproof paneling. So we're going to be using the same equipment there, Dura panel, and yeah, we had quite a lot of success with those upstairs on the other shower. So first thing we need to do is get all this ripped out and see what we're dealing with. Okay, we've got the glass removed now and Bailey's just taken a shower off, and we are just starting to take a look behind these tiles. Now, it's kind of as we expected. So unfortunately, the last installer used plasterboard behind the tiles. Now, they have used a moisture one, but I still really wouldn't recommend doing that. So part of the problem is when you use really small, tiny tiles in a shower and the grout starts to fail, eventually it's going to go to the board behind. Now, this moisture resistant board isn't as moisture resistant as people think, so it's okay in wet rooms or shower areas where it's away from sort of direct areas of contact with the water, like the ceiling or, you know, above a basin or something like that. But actually in the shower area, it's not really suitable. So the problem is with these small little tiles as well, which are really popular at the moment, these Subway types, they're beveled, so the water will just literally seep into this grout line, and if this grout line isn't done correctly, they will just fail. And then eventually what happens is exactly what's happened on this side. The tiles just start to come away from the wall, or the plasterboard just starts to break up behind. So over here on the right hand side, we've got this nib that was built. Now, this is to alleviate the change of level in the wall, but we're going to try and rectify this by building the actual wall out behind. So once we've got these tiles off, we're going to have a look and see if we can alter this so we don't need to have this nib and just have it, you know, straight off the wall with the glass screen. Okay, so we are fully stripped out now of the old tiles and plasterboard, and we can start to see some of the damage this water has caused on the original timber. So if you look down here, you can see how much of an issue this damp's been causing. That timber there is pretty much rotted through. So it's not ideal when you're working in houses like this. So this is an old oast house. Obviously, we all know as plumbers it's really tricky to start installing new showers, waste, etc. So they have gone straight through the plate on this one, which isn't ideal, but they've done it now, so that's the route we're going to take. Otherwise it just means raising the tray up even higher. We don't have the ceiling height for that. This is quite a low ceiling on here, so we're going to go through the same route with that. So the existing plumbing is just on this poly pipe here, and then you've got this bit of copper that runs up. So we've just identified them and we've got them capped for now. It's a few days on and we're making good progress on this shower job now. I've been away camping and Bailey has cracked on and got the shower in position. So let me just show you where we're at. So we've got a concealed shower which has gone on and Bailey has already piped it up. So it's quite unusual, I would say, quite similar to one of those growy or cross water boxes. But I've not worked or seen this brand before. So it's a brand called Flover, but I think the client's gone for this because it matches the bath taps and everything that's already in. So we've got this quite unusual shower head that's gone in. Now the reason for this is because there's hardly any ceiling height, so we're trying to get the shower head as flush to the ceiling as possible without actually going into the ceiling. So that's as close as the ceiling as we can get it, unfortunately, because you do have to access the top to actually install it. So like I say, Bailey's been busy, he's got all the pipe work in. It's all first fixed nicely. On the front of this, got this level on the plastic casing, which is really handy. So I wish more manufacturers would do that. And like I say, he's about to fill it all up and test it all. So while he's just finishing off little bits on now, I've just cut the piece of ply for the floor and taken out the old shower waste. Now, the original flooring's 18mm ply, so I've just matched that across. And what we're going to be doing is just strengthen up the rest of these timbers here. So I've just cut one and put it in location there, as that timber is pretty much rotten out from the leak that it had. And then I just need to put a batten along this plasterboard here just to pick this up. So we wanted to make sure that the waterproof paneling or the waterproof boards that are going on the timber actually go as far as the shower tray. So anyway, let's get these timbers strengthened up, get the ply down, and then we can cut the hole for the tray. Right, we've got the ply all screwed down now and our timbers are now supported, and we have just brought the shower tray up just to mark the waste hole. So we're going to be using the existing hole through the wall where the original waste came through. So to kind of help us get the trap into location and make sure that we don't have too many problems with levels, we are going to be using this Workwin shallow trap. Now, these are really good, especially if you've got any issues with depth. They are extremely shallow. They come with a really good fixing kit on the top, so actual 3 screws rather than trying to spin it into position, with a decent rubber on it. Now they are waterless, which means you have this membrane inside which you can kind of take out and clean. So I find them really useful, and you can kind of guarantee yourself you're going to get a watertight seal on the bottom without having to apply loads of silicone. Just looking at this, we have brought one of these classy seals, so before we're going to put the shower tray in, we're going to adhere this rubber membrane around the perimeter of the shower tray, and that will again create almost like a secondary barrier to make this a bit more waterproof, although hopefully it will never need it, but it's worth putting on there, especially when you're using those waterproof boards, because they will just sit over the flap, so that bit there will be exposed along the edge of the shower tray, and then the board can just sit in front of that, giving you a secondary watertight seal. I have mentioned this before, but I just want to show you what we do when we're leveling our shower tray. So as you've probably gathered, the joists are so out of level here, it's honestly quite unbelievable, but it seems to be that way with all our jobs at the moment. Now, some of you in my comments say that you just stick them down with silicone. Now, I can totally understand that when the floor is totally level, but as soon as you need to start packing it out, you need to have an even base underneath, basically. So you need like an even spread of sand and cement or tile adhesive to actually support it. So if you're just like blobbing it on or just kind of like dot and dabbing it, that's not enough to support the base, and that's when they will eventually crack. So they're not designed to be lifted and then not supported underneath. They need to have support fully on the base of it. So just to get this level anyway on the floor like this, what we do is I identify the highest corner, so whichever is like the tallest part of the ply, and then from that point I find the lowest corner, which is this one here, and then I start adding packers until I put my level across from corner to corner and it levels out. So you can see how many packers it's taken me to actually get it level from corner to corner. So once I've got the lowest side and the highest side identified, I can then level from this point here, the lowest point, across to this corner and then across to this corner over here, and then that will in turn make all 4 points level. So what we do is we can see how much we need to build up. So that's as much tile adhesive as we put down. So we put a nice big spread underneath, usually back part of the tray as well, and then once that tray is sitting on all of these packers, we know that it should be 100% level. And if you need to tweak it, you can just by sliding in, you know, like a green, a small 1mm packer or something like that. But that is how we do it on a floor that is so out of level. If I could just silicone them all down, I honestly would, but we don't ever seem to be that lucky. Right, so the shower tray is now down and we've started to insulate in the walls, and we're just beginning to bore the stud work. So although we're not actually going to be tiling this one, we are using a tile backer board. Now the reason for this is we just want to ensure that this wall is can withstand moisture. So this is a waterproof board, so unlike the plaster board, if this gets moist it won't disintegrate. It will stay as it is perfectly fine. Now you can actually submerge these in water and it will be totally fine. So we're just getting these secured to the wall with sticky foam and also just these large, I think they're 35mm washers. So you have to use these washers when you're installing this board, just because the screw can go straight through it quite easily. So just to get a good grab on the board, you got to have those larger washers. So yeah, that's what we're doing here now. We're just going to get this all boarded, ready for the actual waterproof paneling. Now, like I just said, we are starting to add the sticky foam to it as well. Now the reason we're doing that is because these timbers are so out of level, we just want to ensure that it is grabbed all over the board as well as secured by the mechanical fixing. So shouldn't be too bad. Once we've got these all on, we'll be good to go for the waterproof paneling. Okay, that's us pretty much done for the day. We're just waiting for the waterproof paneling to turn up now. So we've got this all fully boarded out. We used like an adhesive foam glue to secure the panels, as well as the fastening fixings, just to make sure we're filling any voids, because the timbers are all over the place, like I've said previously. So yeah, happy with how this has gone so far. Baddy's done a good job getting all the shower and everything in. And as you can see, we've got this classy seal now on the tray ready to go. So what will happen is the board will just sit over the top of that rubber membrane and form an extra barrier. So hopefully this client won't ever have problems with their shower again. So thank you very much for watching this video. Catch you on the next one. As you can see, this job all complete. So just returning back to this shower job that we had. Now, unfortunately, I left my camera at home when we was installing the waterproof paneling, but as you can see, we have got it done. Tongue and groove boards on the wall, chrome profiles in the corner and on the ends. They're literally just stuck down with adhesive, and then just a simple bar mixer and a straight piece of glass. And yeah, really happy with how this one turned out. So this is the same house where we're installing that other waterproof boarded shower downstairs.